Henderson, the Pride welterweight title holder, trying to make it a double belt for him.
Yes, he is, coming out to what sounded like an artillery barrage there, and maybe some sort of precursor to that right hand that Dan Henderson possesses. They've been known to hit like a howitzer on a few guys' faces.
Now, when these guys fought 6 years ago, it was an epic battle. Henderson has gotten so much better with his hand game now. He doesn't use it just to knock you out. He uses it to loop you, step inside for a body lock, and throw your grip the Roman style to the canvas and knock you out with the throw. So he's got incredible balance with that right hand, plus he's got amazing wrestling skills that literally will knock you out with the takedown.
He needs to watch for the suplex from Dan Henderson.
Dan Henderson coming in at a very comfortable weight of 200 pounds. That's very comfortable for him. I'm sure it's going to bring some more muscle with it.
As you see, Matt Lindland in his corner, another member of Team Quest, Ryan Parsons, another member of Team Quest, the doctor, chiropractor for him, the bald guy sitting there, also a head blade user, such as myself.
The champion is the challenger tonight in this middleweight championship bout.
And in the red corner, Wanderlei Silva.
He is the only middleweight champion Pride has known. This will be his 5th defense of his title. This proud Brazilian, though, has been adopted by Japan, and why not? They respect the ferocious nature of his battle.
Incredibly offensive fighter. The guy he brings just unloads on people like a machine gun, keeps the pace on, and even though he gets dropped, Wanderlei is a guy that never, ever, ever seems to be completely out of a fight.
When we talk about a boxer, he's got the most amazing recovery game if you look at it from a boxing standpoint.
Exactly.
He his chin, in 30 seconds, he's back full bore, ready to go, and he knows how to tie up and recover. I've never seen it in another human being other than Wanderlei Silva.
I agree.
The title fight is on.
we declare that the Pride middleweight reigning champion, Mr. Wanderlei Silva, and the challenger, Mr. Dan Henderson, have met all requirements of the Pride middleweight championship title match, including weight and physical examinations, and that both the champion and the challenger were found to be in good condition both physically and mentally. We officially approve the bout between Mr. Silva and Mr. Henderson, being held here today on February 23rd, 2007 in Las Vegas, Nevada, as the Pride Middleweight Championship title match. And now, Mr. Wanderlei Silva will return the middleweight champion belt.
The middleweight belt back to Mr. Takada to be handed to the victor tonight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the first. Fighting in the blue corner, he stands 6 feet, weighing in at 199.5 pounds. From the USA and Pride Wanderlei champion, Dan Henderson. And fighting in the red corner, standing 6 feet, he weighs 205 pounds. From Brazil, and Pride middleweight champion, Wanderlei Silva.
This match will be under the Pride Nevada title match rule and will consist of 5-minute rounds.
This is a title match. 5 minutes, 5 rounds. No head matching, no attack, rolling, no air attack upon neck. On the ground, don't stop, don't kick the head, okay? Free fight, check out.
Third man in the ring, Yuji Shimada. This is our main event. 5 rounds for the Pride middleweight title.
Judge, you ready? You ready? Ready, go!
Henderson, the left. Wanderlei Silva in the black trunks. The camouflage trunks of Henderson.
Opens up with a left inside kick by Henderson. I think he's going to want to use a lot of movement and then look for that big right hand of his. Wanderlei also gave a lot of respect to Henderson, I think, in that opening stare down. Very interesting.
Henderson just slipped, and now Wanderlei trying to take advantage.
This is one of the things I don't like to have my ankles taped in a Muay Thai style, like if you see Henderson is, because if you step on your heel, the tape doesn't agree with the canvas. It becomes a slick surface.
It is going to be more slippery, and although one thing in Dan's defense, he gets a little out of control in there sometimes. When you say, Frank?
Dan might hurt me, but yes.
Well, talk about out of control. Silva, known as Control Local in Brazil, Mad Dog, and that's what he needs to be tonight to take out Henderson.
Well, certainly he's gone by the nickname also internationally as the Axe Murderer, and I wouldn't say it's because of his kind demeanor in the ring.
Not at all.
You know, he really, both guys are very, very nice outside the ring. They're incredible gentlemen, but then when you get inside the ring, it's like something, like a little light switch goes on, where they become the most amazing, athletic, competitive, spirited athletes you'll ever see.
Well, actually, Dan Henderson knows my money.
Does the prospect of a 5-rounder play a role right now?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because you don't want to get in too many flurries too early, especially with a guy like Wanderlei Silva, who's known to be very strong and can hit from weird positions. If you get a lot of flurries, it can take away a lot of energy coming to 4th and 5th round.
And right now, Dan's taking Wanderlei's weight. You know what? A lot of people will work off their back, but why be on bottom when you can be on top? That guy's riding you, and just like, you know, wrestling, we'll both come from a wrestling background. Being on bottom and having this guy putting his weight on you the entire time, it takes a toll.
This is all part of the chess game of MMA. Wanderlei Silva knows it better than few others. And now referee Yuji Shimada, much to the delight of the crowd here at Thomason Mack Center in Las Vegas, gets both fighters back on their feet.
Let's see if Wanderlei cranks it up a notch and maybe comes hard with a big flurry to start off this restart.
I think Dan did just slip earlier, and that led to that long stalemate. Let's see if Dan wants to keep it up. Oh, boy, he left himself open, but Silva missed him. The big right hand of Henderson comes into play.
Oh, with a knee and some short hooks inside. Eric Paulson calls this hockey punching, staying in tight, hooking under, over, around. Very similar to something you might see in an LA Kings game.
Of course, Eric Paulson being one of the best trainers, Josh's trainer, one of the best trainers in the country right now in MMA.
And the guy feels like a ton of bricks when he's on top. He says he eats lead for breakfast and has sand in his joints.
Right now it is Wanderlei Silva backed up into his red corner, and again a stalemate called by Shimada.
Now here's the thing with Dan Henderson. He's very, very strong, throws a heavy overhand right, but if he misses you with that right, he hits you with his bicep, it still knocks you off balance.
He's known for being an incredibly strong individual, Dan. You know, the kind of guy you don't want to get a headlock put onto you from.
I've actually seen him in a Greco-Roman tournament in the Pan American Games. He literally knocked his opponent out with a headlock. Wow. He had a headlock, hit him with his bicep, and knocked the guy unconscious.
A lot of respect being shown, and Henderson throwing those hands.
Big punches following that high dive by Henderson. A Greco-Roman double really is what it is.
Good right hand on the chin, two of them.
Measuring that right hand, Wanderlei, surprisingly more defensive than I've ever seen him in a while.
Yeah, this is true. I haven't seen him like this in a long, long time. He might have got round in that first exchange.
I like that kick from Silva just as Henderson went to throw the punch.
Good move by Silva. I agree, Lon. That was a great tactic. Now he needs to put a few more of those together and then follow up with some hands if he wants to turn the tide of this fight.
Interestingly enough, Silva says he doesn't come into a fight with a game plan. He trains for everything, sees what the opponent gives him, and reacts to it.
Now, I saw these guys train this week where they were out working out with me over at J-Set Jiu-Jitsu and John Lewis. They were upstairs, I was training downstairs. And one of the things that Wanderlei was working on was countering the overhand right with a stiff leg kick. So maybe we're going to see a little bit more of that here later on.
And left hook by Henderson lands. Oh, and the right buckles Silva. I think he slipped more than anything, though.
Both these guys are starting to swing real widely. This is uncharacteristic of Silva. This is putting Henderson in the pocket where he wants to be.
I agree, and Silva, known for throwing a blitzkrieg of short hooks, is doing it more so coming backwards than moving forward like he likes to, and Dan seems to be being more accurate with the shots on the feet, and if he can institute that counter low kick to the right hand, would be a good start.
Why isn't Silva, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, putting this guy on the ground? Is it because Henderson?
Oh, Henderson's right! He's hurt a little bit!
He's hurt good! Oh, nice flurry back by Henderson, though.
Right in the round. Oh, right at the end of the round, Henderson starting to walk to the wrong corner. And Silva rocked his opponent right at the end.
You do see a little bit of blood on Wanderlei, a little bit of blood on Henderson. It's coming out of his nose. I think the blood on Wanderlei is actually is from Henderson's nose, not that he's got a cut as well.
All right, action from the end of that first.
Big hooks by Wanderlei coming in, landing their mark, finally finding his range, and coming in with that blitzkrieg of short hooks like I mentioned.
Oh boy, Henderson was in trouble, but fought out of it, and he had help from the ring clock.
But most of those punches are right on the button. Henderson does a great job of recovering, not turtling up. Like a lot of guys in this position will just lift their hands and take the punches. But Henderson swings back, and that's the best way to keep a guy off you, is to hit him and keep him at bay.
He's taking it, but he sure is giving it back as well.
It's amazing. I had the opportunity when Henderson and I were both on Team Raw to train together, and he's the strongest guy I've ever competed with.
I bet you really miss having your head squished all the time, don't you?
I really don't.
Round number 2. Let's see if Silva wants to capitalize on how he finished the first 5 minutes.
You got to have some confidence ending a fight that way. He did take a few stiff ones from Henderson at the bell, but really that last 10 seconds was all Silva, and you want to stay with that momentum. You want to keep that going in your favor.
Let me see if I can answer my earlier question. Does Silva respect the down game of Henderson so much that he's not too anxious to get it to the ground?
You have to understand that wrestling, whether it's freestyle or Greco-Roman, is all about controlling your opponent. So if he ends up on the ground on his back, Dan's going to be able to control him, because that's what he does. And you see a takedown right here. Oh, he's coming into it.
Nice front choke attempt, knees to the head.
Silva slipped out of it.
Back to the body lock where Henderson should have the advantage here. I think, basically, Lon, nice knee tap by Henderson. basically, Silva figures he's going to do the most damage on his feet. He's going to keep it there. That's where he's going to score most of his damage. That's where he's got the best chance of finishing this fight. But if there's a turn of events, Silva puts the fight puts Dan Henderson on his back. He could wear this fight out into the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, then maybe score that knockout he wants.
Back to the center of the ring. They are brought by Yuji Shimada.
Henderson is so strong in this position. It's going to be hard to sweep him. It's going to be hard to catch him in any kind of submission. So right now what's happening is that Wanderlei, like we said earlier, he's carrying all of Henderson's weight. He's carrying all this weight, and this is something you don't want to have happen to you.
Henderson's got baby-making hips, you know. It's going to be hard to get him off.
What's he got, like 12 kids now, 13 kids?
Something like that, yeah. He just shoots them out. He's a bit like one of those tennis servers.
That was Josh Bennett, Dan. It had nothing to do with it.
All right, well, Silva trying to squirm his way out. Henderson said if it goes to the ground and he's on the bottom, he will slip out. But once he gets on top of Wanderlei, he will keep it there.
Great defensive game so far by Wanderlei. You know, he's using a lot of head movement. He's keeping his hands coming up to deflect the shot. So Dan's not able to score a lot of big punches. But just the same, being on top, making Wanderlei work, pushing on his face like that, getting the short punches in there. You know, honestly, Trigg, he should probably start going to the body instead of trying to headhunt so much.
Yeah, really, because that's really what you got to do when you're in the guard. If you start headhunting, it's a lot easier to get out of the way. But if you start smacking a guy's body, he's got to play that game. Is my hand got to come up or come down on each one of these punches? Eventually, going to catch him flush.
Henderson. Hammer fists here and there, peppering away at the axe murderer. But
like you see here, how Wanderlei keeps his legs, his feet are closed in a closed guard. You can't move your hips in a closed guard. You've got to open up your body to be able to move. If you keep Henderson in a closed guard, he's just going to keep pounding you and punishing you.
Shoulder butts from Dan Henderson.
Open up a little cut on Wanderlei's right eye, right above in the corner there. We'll see if that becomes a factor later on in this fight. Dan just being consistent and aggressive. Another shoulder butt by Dan. He's just trying to batter his foe.
Wow, Dan Henderson in control, trying to hang on. Got 2 more minutes to work on Silva.
If you notice, every time Dan sits up, it pushes down Wanderlei's face a little bit to create that separation, but also keeps his head still.
Oh yeah, trying to get some leverage. Once in a while, Henderson backs off and throws a punch.
There you go. If he's not hitting him with the fist, he's hitting him with the shoulder. He's trying to hit him with, use any part of his body that's allowed to cause some damage on Wanderlei, or at the very least, get in his head, frustrate him, wear him out. Armbar attempt by Wanderlei, but Dan's having none of it. Nice pass, but you know what? Didn't secure position. He's just a little too aggressive.
The 2-time Greco-Olympian is the best at that.
Here's the thing. You get space, you miss an armbar on Henderson, you got to get back to your feet immediately. You can't be content to go back to the guard. Wanderlei's just content to kind of ride this out. I don't know if he's trying to hold on to make Yuji start him back up again on their feet, or if he thinks at some point he's going to be able to wear Dan out. But this is not a position, if I'm fighting Dan Henderson, that I want to be in right now.
This slow game down there, this grind is not going to favor Silva. In fact, it would be better to just freak out, create space, give up your back, whatever, something, just to make it a flurry somewhere where he's got movement, because right now Dan is on him like wire on rice.
Total control. He's not letting Silva flip over, give him his back though.
No, he's not. He's staying strong inside those legs. It's just like he's going for the pin right now.
Now Dan's up, trying to get some leverage, trying to pile drive, and maybe he wants to pick him up.
You never know. I mean, that Dan might.
We can't pile drive here in Nevada rules, but now
nice
Andy getting busy.
Big shots from Dan, finally finding some success on top, rocking Wanderlei a little.
They might have to move him back to the middle here. They're getting dangerously close to the edge, and that's exactly what Yuji Shimada does.
You're right. You know, Josh, I have to go back to your earlier comment. Really, Wanderlei's got to freak out here and get back to his feet. Otherwise, this round, you know, we're getting down to the end of it anyway, but the round is foregone now because Dan was on him about 30 seconds ago. He needed to sprint out of this position, get back to his feet, and at least have a chance of throwing some bombs.
And Wanderlei is not really known for his finesse, and right now, that's kind of the position here he's putting himself. And he's flat on his back, his hips aren't moving. He's got to make something happen. And maybe he just expects, hey, I'll give this round up, come out hard the next one. Good armbar attempt.
The armbar, though. Henderson slips out of it. Oh, big overhand right into the gut. Right at the end of the round.
Now, if we got to go, now remember, these are different rules than we're used to in Japan, Josh.
Right.
It's a completely different factor. If you got to go off of right now, or the Nevada State Athletic Commission rules, who do you think right now, if the fight ended right now, who's winning the fight?
it's most definitely going to be Henderson at this point. I think he's really doing a great job of controlling, even if the first round was a draw. Bam! Nice shoulder strike. In fact, almost popped his mouthpiece out with that second one. Clearly putting his weight behind it and getting a lot of shock behind it. Bam, right in the temple there.
You know, the one thing that Dan's doing a lot better job of in this fight that I've seen in the past is staying action. If you take a look at the Rockstar Energy Drink replay, Dan tends not to have as much action on top. This time he really is moving a lot. He's being very mobile, very action-oriented. That's a complete change in his game over his last 3 fights.
You tie him up, but he still finds a way to hit you.
An amazing first and second round. 3 more to go. Is Wanderlei Silva just frustrated beyond speaking right now?
Well, you know, he's sort of just forcing low kicks right now. I mean, they're landing, but it doesn't look like, hey, I'm going to set this up. It's just like, I'm ticked off at you, and I'm going to hit you with anything I can.
Knee strikes from Silva as he backs up to the ropes.
Now, you know for sure that, you know, Wanderlei Silva comes from a great academy, the Shoot the Box Academy down in Brazil.
Wow.
You know, they told him, hey, look, you're losing this fight. You've got to steal these next 2 rounds just to get a tie going into the 5th round. So if you don't pick up the pace, keep it on your feet, you're going to be in trouble.
Boy, I tell you, I've watched a lot of fights. The story of the fighter himself is in the eyes, and the eyes of Wanderlei right now show a lot of worry.
They know with Matt Lillard and Ryan Parsons in Henderson's corner, they told him the same thing. Look, relax, take your time, take a breather, because you know you win the first 2 rounds. Pick your spots, pick your pace. When the action is there, take advantage of it.
Wow, he lines up that right hand, scores. Didn't drop him, but you know that's going to count later on in this fight. Right into the double. Nice high double. Finishes strong, but Wanderlei with the hips and tries to roll back on top. Gets the hip heist. Now into a front headlock, a position where Dan should really be in control. And Wanderlei now behind.
And this is not where Henderson wants to be, but what a great reversal from Silva, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist. Into the neutral corner. A lot of time left in this 3rd round.
Oh, wow, great right
hook by Wanderlei. We could hear it down here at the announcer's table. Sounded like a piece of flesh getting hit with a sledgehammer.
Wow, that was the most amazing left hook that I've ever seen. Great position, stepped out and popped him.
More low kicks from Wanderlei. Oh,
he set him up for that one.
How do you like that one, Lon?
He set him up beautifully. What a spinning back fist. He took the short punch and then spun and captured that face.
Way to go, Dan Henderson, adding another tool to his arsenal.
He drew Silva in for that. He knew it all the way what was happening. Oh, right hand.
Left hook.
Dan Henderson owns 2 belts. He's got the middleweight. Oh my God! Can you believe it?
Left hand to finish that fight. Oh my God!
Dan Henderson does it. Thanks. A finish worthy of Chuck Norris.
Lining him up with that left hand followed right behind the right. Dan's got another bomb in his arsenal.
Misses with the right, immediately comes back with that left hook, throwing combinations that every great fighter should. Puts Wanderlei down, knocks him completely unconscious.
That is supreme confidence in your abilities right there. Ding, bam. There he goes, right on the chin, and this is the first time Wanderlei has ever lost a title match, let alone he hasn't been KO'd in forever.
It's really amazing to see how much. You have to understand something here. Dan Henderson is a 185-pound champion. He moved up in weight class to fight the 205-pound champion. He now owns 2 belts. This has never happened before in MMA history. We have one man that owns 2 belts in 2 weight classes.
Right, by moving up.
And now for the Pride Middleweight Title Match Commendation Ceremony. The champion will be presented with the winner's prize trophy by Pride Executive Director Nobuhiko Takada.
Okay, done. Okay. The ceremony.
Ceremony, here.
Second coming by Dream Stage Entertainment. I hereby grant this certificate in hope of your continued endeavor. February 20th, 2007, Dream Stage Entertainment. Congratulations.
Champion Dan Henderson will be presented with a champion belt by Mr. Nobuhiko Takada.
Congratulations, America's best. 2 belts now. Dan Henderson. Give it up for this guy right here. All right, Dan, first off, man, you're going to have a busy time now that you got 2 belts, but you got to be overwhelmed with emotion right now.
Undescribable right now. It's just undescribable. There's no way I couldn't have done it without my team over here, Team Quest. Soon becoming the best team in the world. Right here.
All right, we got to give him take his mouthpiece out. Hey, let's look at the screen here, because I want to know where Dan Henderson learned to throw that spinning back fist at. Walk us through this one, man.
Well, that wasn't a spinning back fist. Everybody's always talking about my right hand, but I guess I got a hell of a left hook too.
Did this fight surprise you? Wanderlei seemed a little different this fight.
That was the spinning back fist there. Just beautiful.
Where'd you learn that from, man? I ain't seen that out of you lately, if ever.
I tend to do it when I get a little bit out of position, so I pretty much do it either way. I guess it works a little bit. Got him off me, so.
Now what? What do you want to do now? You got 2 belts. What are you going to do now, man?
Well, right now, I hope all you guys join me. I'm going to Body English to have a few beers. That's at the Hard Rock. Everybody be there. You know, it's either that or at Wanderlei's after party in the hospital. So.
Hey, we want We want to take a look. Let's take one more look at that knockout and tell me what was going through your minds when you dropped him. Right here, what were you thinking?
I was like, shit, I just got him good with my left hook. I better finish him. I got a really nice left hook, but, you know, in practice, I tend to look at my work a little too much rather than finishing the guy, so, because that's practice.
After you know, party tonight at Body English, where do you want to go next? Who do you want to fight? Want to get some rest? Who do you want to fight?
You know, I was thinking even before this fight that I was going to let my body heal up a little bit, but the closer it got to the fight, I think the excitement got to me and my body's feeling good, so I'm ready to go whenever Pride wants to put me in. I don't know, maybe I'll go for a third belt, and I can't make lightweight, so you never know, I might end up at heavyweight.
All right, give it up, America's best, Dan Henderson, now the Pride welterweight champion and also the Pride middleweight champion. Back to you guys ringside.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Congratulations to Dan Henderson, Pride 33. The second coming from Las Vegas is in the books, and what